Alrighty, the great return to YouTube. It has been way too long. It's been what, like a year? Maybe it's probably almost been like 2 years since I recorded a video last on YouTube. But yeah, I'm just like getting back into like making stuff. So I was like, you know what, film some training sessions and see how it goes. I really hope the mic is set up to pick most of this stuff up and not the background music because they play music loud as hell in this gym. So pretty much starting off with leg press, doing some more bro type training out of the whole SBL chud that I've been for like the past year and a half. So we got 2 sets of like 30 reps on this. So I'm going pretty light. And honestly, I picked a weight that's probably a little bit of an overshoot. But that's like the problem I've been having with high reps is like I'll usually just undershoot it because I want to get all the reps. But at some point you gotta like kind of push the weight a little bit and maybe fail a set, drop the weight and like finish it out. But I did like one warm-up set with a heavier weight. I did like 2 plates on there and I got a plate and a half on. And then we'll see if I can get 30. I gotta like get the right song on though. Oh, no. Oh, that's bad. Ooh. No, bro, no, no, no. Man, what a way to start this shit, bro. One set in and I already tweaked my neck, bro. Oh, gosh. Oh, that's real bad. How did that even happen? That's actually really painful. Wow, what a way to start things off, man. That's crazy. Like as soon as the 1 second I decide to start recording stuff, of course I go and I hurt myself. That's just serves me right, man. All right. So basically, on that set, I was like around like 20 reps deep, and then suddenly I felt like a very like sharp pain at like kind of like the base of my skull. So essentially, I have some mild scoliosis in my upper spine. I think it's like a very small, like 7% deviation, and it's not enough to be classified as like scoliosis. It's just like a minor degree because everybody has like some natural variation in their spine that's like acceptable, but mine is like just a little bit too much to where muscles on one side will get really tight. So I pretty much live, I don't say I live life, but a lot of the times my neck muscles are like very, very tight. And like every time I go to get body work done, they always comment on how tight things are back up there. So it's really susceptible to getting strained. And like right around like rep 20 on that set, suddenly I just like, I felt it like tweak hard. And that usually happens on like shoulder pressing movements for me. Sometimes if I go like really heavy and I'm just like unlucky, I slept wrong on my neck that day, I can tweak it. And usually when it's tweaked, I'll get like a crick in my neck and I won't be able to like turn my head all the way for a few days. I'm hoping that's not what this is. Like I felt it like pretty significantly over there. So I'm not really sure if this is gonna end up being worse because usually I have like adrenaline going and I won't really feel the pain like as much until like I get home. And then I'm like, shit, this is gonna affect training in the next few days. It feels a little bit better now, but if I press on it, I can definitely feel it. But anyways, I don't really know. I think I got around 30. I wasn't really counting that well that set because that really threw off my focus. But I mean, it was a decent set regardless. I'll see if I can match it again and get 30 on this one. Last time I did only a plate, which is like 45, so I added a 25 on this time, which is a pretty significant jump. But I've only just started doing like this like higher rep training, and I think my body's like adapting very quickly to it. So I should be able to see these larger jumps now, and then like slowly as I go on, it'll slow down. But we'll see if I can get 30 for another one. Yeah, it's been like 5 minutes on resting on this set, so I better hit another one. I'm gonna need to watch the footage back on that one because I don't know what I did to my neck, but it was bad. All right, 30, hold. Let's get this. No, man. Yeah, something's seriously wrong. It's anytime I'm bracing, like when I get to the bottom and I brace and everything tightens and contracts, dude, it's like it's sending like shocks up my spine, bro. Dude, that's bad, man. I don't know how I'm gonna do the rest of this workout. My leg days are like no joke now, too. So much volume. Oh, that is such a major bug. Such a major buzzkill. Oh. I guess I'm just gonna have to play it by ear and see which exercise I can end up doing, but I feel like it's gonna be very limited because it's not exactly on the press. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like the spine itself is like an issue or in a compromised position on the presses. It's that whenever I'm bracing and I contract everything in my posterior chain, like your erectors run from the bottom of your back up to the top. And it's like whenever I contract my erectors, like it's just getting way tight up in my neck. So it's like every time I brace, dude, it's so painful. God, bro, that is quite unfortunate. Anyways, leg extensions now. I think I have like 4 sets on these, starting at 30 reps and then going down to like I think the last set's like 8 reps. It goes like 30, 20, 15, 8, I think. So we'll slowly increment the weight up. Last time I got like all the reps I needed on the set, but I'm like not really ready to do a full jump on the weight stack. So the gym pin I have is pretty heavy and it basically kind of serves as like maybe like a 5, it might be a little bit more than 5 pounds. So instead of the pin on the stack, I'll just put the gym pin in there to get a little bit of a progression. And then if that's good, next time I can go to the next one. But damn, this is gonna be brutal, man. One thing people need to look at on leg extension, you'll see so many people gym pinning this machine when they realistically shouldn't be, because you got to look at the range of motion. And range of motion is like a little bit arbitrary on movements. Like everybody's best range of motion might be a little bit different based on your anatomical structure and stuff like that. But a lot of people just simply aren't taking the quads to the like fully shortened position in this, which is primarily what the benefit of the leg extension is you're getting peak tension in that fully contracted position, depending on the machine that you're using. But a lot of people are just neglecting that. And dude, anybody can load really heavy in like this range of motion right here. If you're just stopping there, I mean, that's what I used to be doing. I had like a gym pin and like a 45 and a 25 on here, and my range of motion was just getting cut short here. And a lot of people just like won't take it all the way because it's uncomfortable. But that's just something that you got to work up over time. And I think you're leaving gains on the table if you're leaving that portion out. So drop the ego, drop the weight a little bit, just take it into a fully shortened position. The other thing that people don't really get right is you'll see a lot of times people are externally rotating their foot and you're kind of putting the knee in a compromised position. You want to try to maintain like a stack between your hip, your knee, and your ankle. Otherwise, you're putting like a lot of shearing force on the knee, and that's how you get into like some knee issues. And when you break down the cartilage and like the connective tissue in your knees, like, dude, that's gonna it's gonna hinder your training for the rest of your career. So highly recommend just dialing in the form on this and not going crazy if you haven't earned the right to go crazy on it yet. So I gotta go, I think a 55 and a gym pin on this. So let me get that. Dude, I'm dying, bro. Dying. All right, 30. See. Oh god, man. Dude, my quads feel like literal balloons right now, bro. That's so painful, dude. Those last 10 reps, brutal. God, the burn on these is just like tremendous. And that's something that you just don't get if you're training in low reps, because you're not really reaching that like metabolite accumulation, like all the calcium ions just like flooding. It's a different type of training for sure. And I mean, you can debate about whether on paper this is like scientifically the best for muscle growth, but you got to look at it outside of the context of the study. I think like high rep sets like this, not only do I think you can kind of connect to the muscle in a different way, especially if you're training like, dude, I'll be the first to admit, like legs are definitely a weak part for me. And I think a lot of it is due to my body makes compromises on typical movements. And if I'm just doing like 6 to 8 reps, it can get away with compromising itself out of the movement. But when I'm doing like high reps, like I'll notice like part of my leg will fatigue first, and then it's like another part like kicks in and starts doing the work that I've like never felt before on, again, the lower rep sets before. So I think it has merit in terms of getting that mind muscle connection. And yeah, mind muscle connection might not be the terribly most important thing for muscle growth again, but it's still like fiber recruitment. If you can you need to be able to recruit a fiber in order to train it and grow it. So I take stuff that I get from these higher rep work, and hopefully that's making my lower rep work more productive. And again, I'm using more of the total mass. Oh, brutal, brutal set. I might log that as, yeah, I think I can go to 66 next time. We'll say 66. All right, next one is 77 in the gym pin. Drop it down there, doing 20 reps on that, and then have one more at the end, which is 10. And that'll be done for leg extensions. My neck, I'm definitely feeling it towards like the end. Again, it's like on the bracing. What I'm really worried about is on my squats. Like, dude, that's when it's gonna be brutal, because like your erectors are definitely involved in squats, and bracing is like a very important part of squatting effectively and safely. I'm really honestly not looking forward to. No, I am looking forward to it today. I just gotta shut that out of my mind. Oh, let this be your warning to make sure you properly warm up, especially before something like a leg session, because it's not just your like. I went over to the like stretching area here, and I was doing some PNF stretching with like 90/90s, just to warm up the hips because I have limited hip mobility. But I totally neglected like anything upper back related, which that was a mistake, because dude, your whole body is involved in leg training. It's not just your legs. Live and learn. I legit did one exercise, 1.5 exercises. My camera's at 66% battery. How does that work? Ugh. All right, 20. Okay. A little bit better. Can definitely take a progression on that for next time. We'll go up one. Last set on this one. We got a 10 repper. All right. Here's the ultimate tip. So you see everybody pulling out seatbelts and stuff. What you need to get is a ratchet strap. See, because if you have one of those typical airline seatbelts that everybody's using, chances are you're not able to tighten it enough for it to actually do anything. So I like the ratchet straps because you can just ratchet them down as tight as you want, and then it's actually going to keep your hips down when you're doing heavier sets. So for the lighter rep ones, like I can just brace myself with my hands, but for the heavy ones, you got to pull out some bigger tools. This one's like a 10 repper, so it's not as bad as like some of like the 6 rep stuff that I've been doing, but it still helps. So I'll show you. I'll get 10 on this set. Ooh. Clip this in. We're just gonna take out the slack. Tying it down. I don't know why. I haven't seen so many people using seatbelts and nobody using ratchet straps. I think these are just infinitely better. And now I don't even have to use my hands. I'll use them anyways, but you're locked in. Like my hips aren't going anywhere. All right. Even on the heavy set, full contraction all the way. Keep the stack. Keep the knees, ankles, everything stacked. Doing my neck, man. This is so bad, bro. It's such a dampener. Take advantage of the sessions where you come in and you're fully able-bodied. I take that for granted way too much. All right, next up, we got some plate-loaded flying hamstring curl. This is really the only hamstring, like direct hamstring work exercise I have in the program right now. Like I don't have SLDLs, which is usually like that's like my favorite movement, just because like you get sore every time after you do SLDLs. But that's not in there right now. I gotta focus. Like I just have this, so I just gotta like rinse it as hard as I can. It's the same rep scheme as what I was doing on the leg extension. So I start with like a 30, then I do a 20, and like a lower rep one. But I'll start with like a 45 on this, just to like get it warmed up, because I feel like if you get that, what is it like? I forget what it's called. Post action something. It's like PAP. It's PAP. I forget what the exact acronym is, but basically like you want to get like the muscle like activated, firing, everything ready to go. So I'll do like a heavier one and then I'll drop the weight, because when you drop the weight after that, it just like feels like way lighter. So I feel like I can do more. I don't know, just a warm up, but we'll see how it goes. All right, drop that to like a 30 now, and then I'll go 30 reps on this. The other thing, oh, that's loading it onto the machine. The other thing you want to check on, everybody like seems to mess this up on lying hamstring curls. They go super heavy, and then they're just moving their pelvis. Like the pelvis shifts a lot, and at that point you're just like taking the load off the hamstrings, and you're putting everything in like, again, like low backs and like trying to recruit glutes, which we're not really doing with this movement. So instead of thinking about curling the weight, just think about bringing your heel to your glute. And I think that's a lot better cue. And then also make sure you're keeping like anchored. So I think about like driving my knee and my pelvis into the thing. Like I have a weird mental cue that I probably won't say out loud, but find some sort of cue that's gonna help you. I'm like super fortunate right now because my For You page on TikTok has just been feeding me some straight fire edits that I've gotten some new material for the gym playlist. So have a little bit of extra motivation. The next like kind of getting better. It gets better after each exercise, and then as I get to the end of the set and like starts to get more intense, it's just screwed again. I'm like, dude, I really hope squats are good today. All right, we got like 30. All right. Okay. Definitely need to add 5 there next time, because that was a little bit too easy. I was like slinging the weight around there. Dude, I'm dizzy, bro. This stuff literally pumps my hamstrings are really bad. Like when I hit like a side tricep, I mean you literally can't see anything there. But like right after I do this, like I swear I haven't like really looked in the mirror But I think my hamstrings are like double in size just because like, dude, it's like filled with so much blood. Like after the second set, it's such a weird sensation. I got distracted. I was dilly-dallying for way too long. On these like pump work sets, like you really don't need that long in between. I just like take forever anyways because I'm an idiot. Oh, all right, 20. Yep, also too easy. Dude, I'm taking progressions like way too fast. I mean, not way too fast, just really quickly on this high rep work because, I mean, I've just like never done this stuff before. So my muscular endurance is just total dog water. It's getting better now. That'll be another plus 5 for next session. So I did 42 and a half, so I might just round that up to like a 50. Maybe I'll set the next set a little bit higher too. We'll see. Dude, my hamstrings, bro. I'm glad this is like my only one that I have to do. All right. If I get 10 here, that means we take progressions all across the board, even with a messed up neck, which I'll take. So I think 10 should be pretty easy. And the true test will be how we feel on barbell squats. Come on. Oh yeah. Dude, that's like far. It's like 5 RAR or some shit. That was too cheese. Need to make sure we pop that up a lot more next round. Alright, this is really the ultimate test for how messed up my neck is gonna be. Normally on squats, I like to do like at least like 2 or 3 warm-up sets just because I feel like if you work up to a heavier weight, it makes your normal sets feel just like the bar feels lighter on your back and it's just psychologically so much easier. But I don't know. I'm doing way less weight here than I have before. One, because I'm not fat anymore. Dude, maybe I'll put up a picture of like what my legs look like when I was like 175, 180. But all the fat when I gain body fat goes straight to my legs and my glutes. So my range of motion is like a fraction of what it is when I'm leaner. So for me, it was like way easier to do like heavier weight. But now I'm doing a fraction of it, and I'm really not trying to push as much weight as I can now. I'm just trying to build the pattern back up. I haven't free weight squatted. I'm like actually trained this movement in a very long time. So I want to make sure I don't get injured because one, the first day I came back and I did it, I was getting a lot of butt wink. So butt wink is when you're coming down in the squat and you get to the bottom. Usually it's because people will have either limited hip or ankle mobility. And so what happens is your body compromises by bending your lower lumbar spine at the bottom of the squat, which kind of puts it in a little bit of a compromised position and it might be easier to get injured. So I'm really trying to make sure that's not happening and currently cutting my range of motion a little bit shorter so I don't get to that point. But yeah, we'll see. I think I'm just going to start with the plate on each side. I'll usually do the bar, but I don't have time for that. My leg sessions have been taking like 2.5 hours. And that's just like ridiculous. Like I don't want to be here though. I mean, I'll be here however long I have to be, but I'd rather not. Okay, neck is fine. Neck is not the problem here. Dude, I have one weak little baby, bro. I'm like dizzy from doing one plate on squats, man. Oh gosh. All right, we'll go 2 plates and just take it for. I got 2 sets of 10, and it's supposed to. I'm not supposed to go to failure on these, and it probably won't be failure. Hopefully, it's not. Last time I was doing like a plate of 25 and a 10, so it's like a plus 10. It might be a little bit more of a jump than I should be taking. I really should do a heavier warm-up set, but I just like mentally I'm not feeling that. I don't know where any of the clips are, man. What is this? All right, it's go time. Dude, I got 2 plates on the bar. It's nothing crazy, but you still got to get hyped for the set just as if you had somebody else doing like 5 plates on here. Just play your game, man. Everybody's at like a different spot, so just do you. Ooh. That low back there, definitely a little bit uncomfy. Gonna have to work that up. All right, one more, max reps, get 10. Nothing too crazy. I gotta lock in because I got walking lunges for super high reps after this. It's just, that is brutal. Both of these are like, dude, if you're a science-based lifter, you're gonna be up in arms over this. But in a world full of SBL chuds, a little bro lifting is necessary. Two, three, four, okay. We'll take the plus 10 production. Take, oh god, I can't talk. The plus 10 progression. Oh god. Whew. Man, that's sad. I feel like a total noob in the gym. 2 plates on the squat is pretty sad. Pretty sad stuff. It's funny because I think I did my freshman or sophomore year of college. Me and my friend did the 20 rep squat challenge, basically where you're gonna pick like a starting weight that's like you can hit for 20 reps, and you just do one set, 20 reps. And I think you're either training 2 or 3 times a week. I think I was doing 3 times a week, so I would train nothing except for that one squat set. And ideally, every time you're supposed to add another 5 on And by the end of like, I forget how many weeks, you're supposed to be up like a significant amount of weight. And I think I had started like 165 for 20, and I had gone up to like 265 for 20. So lifts like these, there's like a lot of coordination aspect to it. It's not just the contractile tissue that you have on your body. So the more you do the movement, the more you're gonna progress. So like, I don't think I'm gonna be at two plates for long. Like I've been either adding 10 or 15 to each side for the last few sessions doing squats. And I'll probably have like a little bit longer runway of being able to do that. So hopefully by the end of, I think by the summer, like I should be in a good spot with free weight squats. It's just, I haven't trained these in forever and the leverages on my body are completely different. So it's almost like I'm learning a different movement. Anyways, now I go down to walking lunges, and boy, I mean like these walking lunges, like especially when you're doing like 15 steps per leg, it's really hard to track what your form actually looks like because there's so much variance. Like on some reps, you might go here, your foot might come a little bit wider, you might go a little bit longer. So it's really not, I'd say, one of those movements where you're just trying to track progressive overload a lot. You're just really trying to build that movement pattern and like do hard stuff. Like, dude, a long set of lunges it's hard work. I don't care if it's gonna do the most for on paper muscle growth. It's not what everything is about. So anyways, we gotta get onto it because dude, my camera's at like 40% battery. I gotta prepare for this absolute brutality. My runway's cut a little bit short by the giant tire that we have over here. So we'll just do like 5 steps each way, 5 steps each way, 5 steps each way. Oh gosh. All right. Dude, holy cardio, man. So ridiculous. Dude, everything hurts. Significant improvement over last time though. Like last time, form breakdown was like way too bad. I could even tell. This time was a little bit better. I think for me, my body's pretty imbalanced. Like, even if you look at my poses, it's almost like there's some weird stuff going on with both my hips and my rib cage. So my rib cage is like rotated one way, so my vacuum pose looks really strange. Same with my hips. Maybe it's just because like I'm used to seeing my mirrored image, so every time I see my true image, it just, all the little flaws like stick out to me. Because on my mirrored image, I don't see any of this stuff. It's only on my reflection, which like everybody else sees, that I see the differences. And it's almost like my belly button is like turned one way, my hips are just weird. But like on all these, my glute mobility on my right side is like way more limited, so I get way more of a stretch. Same thing on the squats. I feel my right glute contracting a lot more than my left. So hopefully this will address some of that because it's more unilateral work. Alright, heart rate's back down, so I'm gonna hit another set. I don't know why, but I'm getting like ridiculously thirsty and nothing is like satisfying. Let me show you guys what I have for my intro. So this is like, this one is 20 grams of EAAs that I just like sit throughout the workout, just because the last time I had a meal was like a whole meal with protein was like 4 hours ago. It's been a while. I like to like eat like a good distance away from when I train. So just have EAAs. Might not be essential, but it's just like an insurance policy. Like if I can get it, why not? So I have that. Then I just have some electrolytes. I probably don't need electrolytes because I don't usually sweat that much unless I'm wearing like a ton of clothes like this. But just tastes good and helps get fluids inside to it. And honestly, here's a hack: if you have like way too much sodium in your diet because you're salting like a ton of your food, just switch to light salt because it has a bit more potassium. So your sodium intake will drop a good amount and your potassium goes up a lot, which people are deficient in. So that's what I do, and I'm not too worried about consuming excess sodium because I don't have that much salt in my diet. So a little like electrolytes isn't gonna do anything, even if I'm not sweating that much. But I actually do this set because I'm once again loitering. All right. Oh gosh. Ah, that is brutal. Definitely a good amount of form breakdown on that one. That was dirty set. But, oh. And we're only halfway done. We're doing adductor and abductors here. It's just a little bit of break from the heavy, intense athletic stuff. It's still hard work, but it's not like as whole body taxing as some of the other stuff is. Dude, I think my noise cancellation is like, I'm watching a meter right now and there's no way the audio on this is any good. Alright, now right here, if you're wearing pants like this, it goes down super low. If you try to do some adductors, you're just gonna rip that like straight up. So right here, just hike the pants like way up so that I'll tear that like straight down the middle. Like a couple like stretch warm-up sets, get the range of motion going. Dude, way too many people on the adductor just like hike themselves all the way up here. This is easy. Anybody can do that. Put yourself as far in that back in that seat. It's not a force to jump in this if you're just like butchering the movement. I don't know what exactly it is, but dude, this session's got me taxed, bro. Major taxed. It took like a fair amount of pre too. I used dethroner, which is like a super intense pre. Very well stacked, but it took like a scoop and a half, maybe a little bit more than a scoop and a half. But I think like that next stuff at the beginning just like really tweaked me out for the session. Still took progressions mostly everywhere, except for the lunges. Lunges I matched, but took progressions pretty much everywhere. So even if you're tired, like you can still grind through it. Let's see if we can take some more here. Okay. That's 12, so that's the top of my rep range. These two sets are supposed to be 10 to 12 reps. So I got like 12 and have like still 3 in the tank. So next time I'll go up in weight. Probably just gonna stick with the weight and match and see if I can get 12 again. Just like locked in, because like the jumps here are like 11 pounds on each one. So I'm doing 88 right now. If I increase by 11, that's more than a 10% increase. So it's a pretty sizable jump. I want to make sure I'm like well into that top rep range. If I'm like only at like 10 or 11 and I try increasing the weight, it's very unlikely that I'm going to be within range next time. So I went through a whole like phase in my lifting, probably for like the last year, where I would just take progressions everywhere. I was doing like 4 to 6 reps, and if I get 5, I'd have to wait. Like I wouldn't wait to get to 6 or anything. And there's so many times where I just end up getting like 3 reppers and stuff. It's not like those aren't stimulating, still 3 stimulating reps, but there's a point where if you're just chasing for the sake of chasing and you're not actually earned the right to do that weight, you're not doing yourself too many favors. So just be patient. Like, remember, progressive overload is a byproduct of muscle growth. It's not that progressive overload causes muscle growth. So make sure you have like a proper psychological relationship between yourself and the logbook. If you're just chasing the logbook just to chase it, chances are your form's probably breaking down. But yeah, I'll take a quick rest, maybe like a minute more, and then go again. It wasn't a taxing set, so I don't need to like wait like 4 or 5 minutes in between. All right, we go again. I haven't been here. It's 5 o'clock now. I got here at like 3. It's been 2 hours, and I'm like 60% of the way done. All right. That was like 13. Definitely gonna pop that up by a good 11 next time. Take the progressions there. I used to do these where I'd focus on driving with the knees, and I did like the whole stack. Like I was gym training. Again, like my form probably wasn't insanely good, but what I've been thinking recently is like trying to cue my adductors, and I can like the actual adductors with the knees. I don't know if it's like I need to like do a little bit more research on if that's actually making any difference. But I feel like when I'm driving with the knees, I can feel like a lot of like outer quad and like almost glute activation too. That feels like it's contributing to the movement. Whereas if I just think about cueing the adductors, I only feel it like right here. So I've just been experimenting with that, and dude, people need to take a little. People need to not be afraid to experiment with things like that in your training. Like, dude, you don't just have to blindly follow whatever some optimal creator tells you to do on the internet. Like, training is just not that deep. There's 2 things that are really important: your consistency and your intensity. If you have those 2 things dialed in, dude, you're gonna progress. Sure, maybe something is like a little bit better on paper, but those 2 things quite literally get you 90 to 95% of the way. And so many people are just killing their entire process by overthinking everything. Experiment, bro. Look at any good bodybuilder, any good athlete, and find a single one of them that tells you, "Oh, I just followed studies. I just followed what some creator told me, and that's how my entire process is." No, every single one of them has done some personal experimentation, done suboptimal things, found certain things that work for them. Don't be afraid to experiment. People are way too scared, and overthink way too much about training, way too much. All right, we got abductors now, 2 sets of these. Now, here's a pro tip: if you are natural and you want to compete in either open bodybuilding or classic physique, you need to train glutes. If you haven't trained glutes, chances are no matter how lean you get, when you step on stage, you are not going to have stripes on your butt. Like, you are not going to have the glute striations. You simply won't, because you need, especially as a natural, you need a significant amount of mass there in order to actually push out. The vast majority of people, especially me, hold a lot of fat in the glutes and leg area. So that'll be the last place it comes off of. And usually as a first-time competitor, you're not going to have the tools that you need in order to really get down to the leanest you possibly can. So the more muscle mass you have, the more you have to push out against that fat mass, and the higher likelihood you are of actually coming in with striations. Just trust me, when you step on stage, you don't have those striations, it just doesn't look the same, man. It looks a little bit sloppy, and I really want to make sure I dial that in before I compete next year. So taking these very seriously, to say the least. Whew. Okay. 12 hit the top of the rep range. One left. One decent rep left in the tank, maybe. So take 12 there, probably do a little bit less. Match reps next time. We got some high repper hip thrust action going on. 2 sets, 30 reps. Not insanely close to failure, but definitely a lot of pump and a lot of burn. Building some mental toughness here. All right. Last time I did 10, go 25 this time. A little bit of potentially an overshoot, but put some SD kit on. Come on. Oh yeah. Oh. That is painful, man. I hate how this machine does this thing and then I pull it down every time. Oh my god. Slinging these weights around, man. Okay, we could take progression there. Probably do like a 35 next time. Oh. On this one, I'm like actively thinking about trying to contract my left glute a little bit more, just because it's like you know how you're dominant jumping on one side, like if you go for a layup or you're diving off a diving board, and you'll have like one foot that you usually prefer to launch off of. I think usually that glute is a little bit stronger, so you got to kind of work on that if you want to get that connection on the other side. So whenever I'm doing those reps, I almost think about just contracting the left more and get a better connection with it. But yeah, we'll take like a 2 or 3 minute breather and then go another set on this. The neck is feeling way better now, and I cannot express how happy I am with that because, dude, when I tweak it and I actually get like a full on crick, my training is just messed up at least for the next week, and it's miserable. I can't like I can barely sleep on it because, dude, your whole head you can't turn farther away. So I'm really glad that like cleared up a little bit, and it was just that leg press. So next time I'm gonna like be extra careful and address the form, make sure I'm not doing like too much strain in the neck area. So all right, 30. Let's get it. Okay. Brutal. All right. Seated calf action. Now, the previous sessions I've been doing, most of my like high rep, like 20, 30 rep work, I'm mostly just trying to get like fast reps. And for this phase of my programming, I'm not really going for like rep tempo. But I was blasting through these last time, and the problem with the calves is I think it's your like Achilles tendon basically will store a bunch of the elastic energy, which is why people highly recommend pausing at the bottom of a calf movement to negate that and like make sure you're actually using your calf to do the work. So I'm gonna drop the weight today, do 10, and focus a little bit more on pausing at the bottom. Problem is like when you do 30, like my calves have like very little endurance in them. So when you're doing like 30 reps on these, it's brutal. Like you can barely do any. I can't even really stand and do 30 calf like presses with my body weight. So we will have to see how the set goes. All right. Mm. That's got to be one of the worst and best feelings simultaneously. Calves burn so hard. I think most people like. This is why I'm very more invested and have a favorable mindset towards this kind of work because it makes me feel like there really is something that I'm missing out on, and I need to build on that if I want to continue to grow and progress. So again, change your training up a little bit. Obviously, don't change it too much, but think about it like if you're learning like martial arts and stuff. The best martial artists are training in multiple different styles. Like they're not just going through one route. You might specialize in one thing, but you're gonna like take things from other disciplines. So I think the same thing applies to your training. You have to incorporate other stuff. So I might go up a little bit, add another 5 on this. That was, I was expecting that to be worse than it was. So yeah. Come on. 1, 2. Oh, burns like hell, man. 2 things. On the seated, what a lot of people do is they'll rock. So they're taking this, they're rocking like this. It's not the best way to go about it. You want to try to keep your torso stacked and just focus on, think about driving your ankle forward. Instead of just like taking tippy toes, think about getting your ankle down and then forward. You get a better contraction. And then just make sure you're going to like your max range of motion you can at the bottom, because I think that's where the most growth happens. But basically, on the seated, I focus a little bit more on the contraction, because right after that, I'm going to do toe press on the leg press. And on that one, I focus on the lengthen a little bit more and a little bit less on getting fully shortened. So we'll do one more set of this, and then we got 3 sets of that. Come on. Not good, bro. Alright, so I opted not to record the calf press on the leg press machine just because there's like a lot of stuff and it's brutal. But finish off the leg session with abs, and honestly, this next movement is probably like one of my least favorite ones, just because it hurts like hell. Just like regular lying leg raises. My program says like you can add a dumbbell if you need to add more weight. Because I need to like find ways to take off weight. I literally bend my knees as much as I can, and I still can't do 30 reps. So I have to like take breaks in between. So the way I'm trying to take progression on that right now is just increase the amount of reps I can do before I need to take a break. So I think like last time, how many did I get to? I got to, well, maybe I actually got to 30 on the first one. But the second one, 15 reps, and then I have to start taking pauses. So I may turn into more like a myo reps type of set. So I will launch into these and see what we can do today. Hopefully take progressions on those second and third sets. Got 30 on the first one. Definitely not going to be 30 on the second one, but we'll see if we can at least get like maybe 17, 18. Hopefully more. I don't want to like set myself too low. You don't want to like, oh god. Oh, crimps. Oh. I hate when this happens. Every time I do these, I just get the worst ab cramps ever. Okay, I'm gonna take a second and then I'll do the second set. Alright, my camera battery is genuinely on its last limb, so I didn't record the other 2 sets. We did take progression, got 20 reps on each one before I had to start doing rest pause, and I only did 1 rest pause, which is better than last time. So this exercise I actually enjoy. This one's going to be the cable crunch, and I need to figure out which weight I need to do on this. So I was doing it on the other stack last time. Alright, it's 3 down. 1, 2, 3. Alright. This one, I see get butchered all the time. If you're going to train abs, train it right. So, think the biggest way to fix this is you want to think about the joint action that's happening. I'll show you what I see most people doing. They're going to come here. But what they're doing is they're just folding at the hips. So it's really just a hip flexor movement if your spine isn't curving. So again, think about the joint action. Instead of flexing here, we want to get spinal flexion. So, as well as extension at the top to get the abs in a lengthened position. So it's going to look a little bit better if you go like this. Probably kind of hard to see the form on this because I'm wearing a hoodie and everything, but the cue I like to think of is think about like you're a roly-poly and you're trying to curl up into your shell. That's just how I think about it. So you get that flexion, you're actually training the abs. But yeah, I'll do 2 more of these. I'll pretty much be done. Let's see, that's a almost 3-hour session today. I probably rest a little bit longer than I need to on sets, but I was a little bit distracted today. First time recording, decent session back. So hopefully there's some helpful tips in this video that somebody can take away in your own training. And yeah, just get after it. Take a quick count of the leg pump. I forgot about that. But I usually hate checking the leg pump on leg days just because, I hate checking the like progress because your leg just gets so pumped that you lose all definition and all my body fat's in my legs anyways, and my legs are small, so just can't see anything, but we'll just check it anyways. See, I have okay sweep, but I really need to fill in like my, oh my gosh, it's painful. Inner legs, and also, dude, god damn. Dude, the quads are cramping like way too bad. But also see, like, that's the hamstring line right there. And I need like way, I need way more mass there. Same with the calves. Just need those like way bigger. Everything needs to be way bigger. Yeah. This little ab check. Oh, yeah, the quads are cramping way too bad. So that'll be it for today's leg session. And maybe we'll do back tomorrow. We'll see.